Hi guys, good evening. Welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host Eddie, and in today's video I will be discussing what I thought of the most recent episode for Spike TV's The Mist, which premiered earlier this week on Thursday night. I did not catch it until recently. I just got done watching it because on Thursday I went to an advanced screening for War for the Planet of the Apes, which is quite good, by the way. I highly recommend it. You can check out my film review for that video here on my channel. But anyway, I will be discussing what I thought of that pretty big episode of The Mist, and it was a doozy. And before I start geeking out about it and gushing over it, I keep talking for too long. Please be warned that this will be full of big spoilers. As usual with all my review videos, this is full of big spoilers. So if you're not caught up on The Mist, please be warned that big spoilers are ahead. You have been warned. That being said, another really good episode, and this one had a pretty big shocking moment to it, because the past two episodes, were both really good, and they had smaller moments, but this one we saw, not only did we see somebody die horribly, but what was really sad is that it was a little girl who seemed to have literally have the life sucked out of her. And we got our first real look at least one of the creatures in the mist, which is basically this tall, lumbering shadow with this dome-shaped head, and it looked and felt a lot like a Dementor from the Harry Potter franchise, those big, tall, scary black ghost things. That's what this shadow thing looked like, and it got inside the mall when the two dipshits from the previous episode were trying to do right by their decision to leave bodies and shopping carts out there. They actually used this harpoon gun, kind of ingeniously used the harpoon gun, and they reeled back one of the shopping carts with the girl's body in it. But when they fired it into the mist at the second cart, it got stuck on something, and this scene is taken. This scene is taken from the movie, where a character goes out there, follows a line of rope, or in this case a line of string, and the other character stays behind the doorway to pull him in case anything happens. And sure enough, his buddy's body is thrown back at him, and it comes into the mall. He makes his escape, going past Alex and the little girl she was reading to, and that's how the shadow creature gets in and ends up killing the girl. And it was pretty pretty intense, for a while there. And then right after the little girl dies, her mother is, of course, naturally distraught, heartbroken, devastated. But she does this move where she's crying against the glass, and then when she hears Alex talking to her mom, Eve, she's like, she turns and gives her kind of this resentful look, like, how come you survived and my daughter died? That was the look that she was shooting her, but then she went back to crying. And I think this is only going to escalate and cause further tension and problems amongst our characters who are still in the mall. And of course they made that guy leave, and they're following up on their rule that whoever endangers the group leaves, and they just didn't kick him out on his ass. I mean, they gave him provisions, some supplies, and a baseball bat to defend himself. He wasn't happy about it, but he left peacefully before saying F you all or something. And then, and also in this episode, we finally got to see, I really like the little band of characters that have formed since leaving the church. It's like you've got an interesting group. You've got the family man, Kevin, trying to get to his wife and daughter. You've got the high school social misfit who's best friends with Kevin's daughter. And then you've got the soldier with amnesia, or doesn't really remember much. And then you've got the junkie with a dark past. And it's like all four of them together make this interesting little survivor unit, and they make it to a gas station. They encounter this guy, and it's, again, a really sad moment, because he's like, I'm out here looking for my son. He shows them a picture, and just earlier in the episode, they were out running in the mist, and they tripped over something, and he looks on the ground. There's this mutilated corpse, and of course, that's who's in the picture. It's this guy's son, and it's just really sad, because it's like, oh no, now they have to break the news to this poor guy that his son son is dead. Oh, this is tragic. You know, this is a pretty tragic episode. You know, we saw parents dealing or not dealing with the loss of their children. We also saw some of our characters starting to lose their patience and lose their cool. The priest, the father, who's kind of stepped up as a leader at the church, but at the same time is getting a little fed up with the crazy Mrs. Raven. You know, we saw him start to kind of step up, but also he's not exactly going full fundamentalist or anything. But even he says, I hope it's not Judgment Day, but if it is Judgment Day, I am going to do what I can to make you as peaceful and at ease as possible. So at least he's trying to step up and sort of do the right thing. But at the same time, you know, he's getting dangerously close to religical, you know, to being dangerously close to being a religious fanatical. I think his young follower friend is a bit more fanatical than the priest, at least for now. But it was also interesting because once he stepped on the spider and we all think it's dead, and then Miss Raven scoops it up into a jar and she places the jar on the altar, and the police chief notices that like 100 more little baby spiders have suddenly appeared, as if that's what happened to the spider. Like once you killed the spider, 1 million more spiders, you know, suddenly came into being. And I wonder if that's just the case for this particular mystified spider, or if that's how all of the creatures of the mist are. If you kill one, like a dozen more take its place or something. I am more curious about this shadow creature. I'm sure we'll see it again in time. And I'm also curious as to why it spared Alex. Was it a deal where she got lucky because it had already fed, so to speak, by sucking the life force out of that poor girl, and it didn't need to feed anymore, so it just left her alone? Or did it leave her alone for a reason? You know, it's pretty interesting stuff. And, you know, you can really feel it towards the end of each episode, how our characters are becoming increasingly desperate. And you really felt that in this episode, I feel. So some pretty tragic and shocking moments, and some good, things are starting to, like, literally come to a head and start to come apart for some of our characters. So I'm looking forward to what the rest of it has to offer. I'm looking forward to the next episode, as I hope you guys are. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode review here on the EdWord. Sorry this was a little late, but I'm caught up now. I'm back on track. And don't forget that The Mist premieres every Thursday night on Spike TV with new episodes. Check your local listings for times. Don't forget to stay subscribed to this channel as we continue to follow The Mist Season 1. And check out my other review videos as well. Once you're subscribed, you have access to all my other playlists and other great content as well. Check out my Facebook page in the description down below. That's where the link is. I think you'll like what you see. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend if I don't see you guys again. Make sure you tune back tomorrow for my Season 4 premiere and reaction to the final season of The Strain, which premieres tomorrow night on FX. And of course, once you're done watching that, because I'm sure it's on at the same time, but be sure to catch Season 7 premiere of Game of Thrones as well. Alright guys, have a good one. Thanks again for stopping by, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.